Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video here on G4G, Games for Gamers. Today we are going to take a look at the Dragon's Foot and the Scroll Set. These are two items that are up for sale currently on the store, and we are going to attempt to answer the question, should I buy them? Well, we're going to start off with the Dragon's Foot, and I'm going to show you this one directly in action. I'm going to cut the suspense and say right now, the answer is yes. The Dragon's Foot is a piece of gear that you absolutely want to get, and I'm going to show you why. Right now, we have one of the newest members to Marvel Avengers Alliance for 90 CP. We have Gorgon. He is absolutely beautiful with the Dragon's Foot. I'm going to show it to you in action. So, I am going to go ahead and hit this hand dragon down here. That places combo setup on him. And today's background music is brought to you by the Borderlands 3, the pre-sequel OST. Sounds a little Pink Floyd-ish. So, okay, Dragon's Foot, as you can see here from the buff, says unarmed attacks gain guaranteed hit and an increased chance of critical hits. It is removed when the agent dies. So that is what it does to the entire team. Everything Gorgon does is unarmed. All of it. So as you can see, based on the buff, unarmed attack. So we are going to hit the bottom hand dragon with the flanked ability, which is his level 6. And we're just going to leave that in place. For my X-Force Scrapper Deadpool, the Maggie Assassin's already been countered. As you can see, he's got all the buffs. So I'm just going to go ahead and take this guy out with Boombuster. And he's dead. So, what I like to do with Gorgon is hit somebody with a flanked, and then leave him alive for Gorgon to hit him a second time. You'll see that's not gonna happen. Okay, so you saw one of the pieces of the Dragon's Foot in action, and that is the counter attack. If you look at the tooltip over here for the Dragon's Foot, aside from giving the team the Steps of Shaolou buff, Shulao buff, you have a chance at a follow-up, and you have a chance at a retaliation. That's the Dragon's Eye, which gives you the chance to counter, and the follow-up attack. Of course, you apply combo setup when you do it. So, again, I'm going to hit this guy with a combo setup. I could probably take him out with the Savage Axe. And since the flanked is gone, I'm just going to go ahead and get my wind-up. As you can see, that's a critical hit. It's also guaranteed to hit under normal circumstances. There goes Deadpool protecting away. Alright, so I'm not going to hit the top guy. Instead, I'm going to use Light Fantastic. And I'm going to give ourselves some buffs here from the Cosmic Cube. Alright, so since the Magia Assassin has not attacked anybody, doesn't have combat reflexes, I'm going to put flanked on him. And hopefully he will live for this this little pattern over here, which is really nice. Gorgon counters and follows up with his level 2, which is an AoE, which is very similar to Shitterstar. So I want to show you that in action and show you where the Steps of Shaolou comes in. So there goes Deadpool, just basically wiping out the whole team. I'm just going to stay put. And here we go. We're going to do Feel the Thunder on the guy with the flanked. So he'll do that. And then he's going to follow up with his AoE, Dance of Death. Now, if he had combat set up on him, that would have also done even more damage. So, the Dragon's Foot basically is really, really good for all of your unarmed people. Do not forget that some melee people are not considered unarmed. You really want to make sure that you are looking for unarmed people. So like this ankle biter right here is a good example. This would be guaranteed to hit, and it would crit. Now, in terms of heroes that use the Dragon's Foot effectively, well, obviously Quicksilver is fantastic. Most people that get the Dragon's Foot run it with Quicksilver. That's basically everything he does is melee unarmed. Another person that happens to be really good for that would be Rogue. If we take a look at Rogue's abilities, we have a melee unarmed over there. That's just melee, so that doesn't count. So she has two abilities here that are melee. Obviously, everything Quicksilver does. Everything Hercules does, pretty much. Well, I take that back. One of his is good. So, as you can see here, not everybody fits into that. So, like, that's ground. That doesn't count. Even though that's melee, that won't count. And Gizmo Sandwich is ranged. Wolverine is not unarmed. He's slashing. So, you really have to watch who you use it with. Like, these are melee, but only Pole Vault is melee unarmed. So, you really have to pay attention to your heroes and make sure that they have solid use out of it. Like here, Crease Strike is melee, and only Brawl is unarmed melee. Over here with She-Hulk, she's got melee unarmed and melee unarmed, and Motion Granted is a range. So somebody like She-Hulk has at least two things that benefit from it. If we take a look at Luke Cage, Iron Fist, basically almost everything they do benefits from it. If we look at the new Luke Cage, Null Breaker of Worlds, his level 1 has it, but then it's a ground. So the synergy with most people, it's really, really good for Quicksilver, but for other people, you really, really do have to pay attention to it. So, if we take a look at the other item that is up in the store, it is the Egasua Scroll set. So, this is your chance to get the Soa Scroll, the Scroll of Bologna, the Scroll of Melsalam, which is Salami, the Scroll of Akranebi Nomaj, and the Scroll of Azarak. I forget what the other two are, but they are other meats. I just forget what they're supposed to translate into. If we take a look at the set, I actually got this set a long time ago. Is this one worth a purchase? Well, you can eliminate the Soa by farming it for incursion. So that's one you can knock off by yourself. So now we have to look at the others. Nomaj is not a quick action. It's not a quick action with Snappy Service because it's a heal, not a buff. So please take that into consideration. It heals all allies. It is catastrophic because it has an offensive component to it too. Defensively, it heals your team and it removes debuffs. Offensively, it applies Soulfire. There are some things you can do already that do these items. There's plenty of Soulfire items out there. There's plenty of things that heal you and remove debuffs, like the Psychic Amplifier. The Psychic Amplifier will remove your debuffs. So you can farm for that already, and of course, Bologna can remove your debuffs too. So this one already loses some value. Scroll of Salami. Again, not a quick action. And it cannot be a quick action with Snappy Service because the category is heal. Heals all allies and it removes debuffs. So it's very similar to this, except it's a much, much bigger heal. If you notice, the top end is about 4,200. Over here it's about 2,000. The Scroll of Azarak. It's a quick action. Again, it's a heal. So it will never be a quick action due to snappy service, but it is a quick action built in. Restores health every turn, takes reduced damage from dots. Again, you can replicate this by... it doesn't give you the heal amount over here, but you can do this with like the Staff of Asclepios. You can do this with the Voodoo Staff if you have it, which will reduce damage over time. There is a weapon that you can farm that will do that. Obviously, Beast does that. So, you know, it's good that they have this very cheap. It's only 100 gold. However, I would say it's a pass if you're on a budget. So, to sum everything up over here, I would say the Dragon's Foot is a yes. You do want to get this. I got it a long time ago. It's very good with Gorgon. So if you like Gorgon, it works very well with him. Works very well with Quicksilver. And anybody who is strictly all melee. And please read your tooltips when you look at those abilities and make sure that melee unarmed is there. If it does not say unarmed, you will not get the benefit of the Dragon's Foot. For the scrolls, if you're on a budget, I would say no, that is a pass. You do not want to buy this item since you can farm one of them yourself, and you can actually replicate the effects of the other scrolls through other items. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at all of the items over here. See, there's a Soulfire right there on the Bronhammer. There was something... Yeah, I have that. That's not it. I have that. Wasn't that? Yeah, I forget where it is. Somebody said, something I read recently basically was reducing incoming damage slightly. Similar... Oh, I know what it was. I think it was an ISO for Dr. Voodoo. Was it the Dr. Voodoo ISO? Yes. It's the Dr. Voodoo ISO that says that your team has the reduced damage and everything. This set over here, the chest set, I would have considered that a purchase simply because the Rook is quite powerful, but we dealt with that in the last video, the last weekend MAA video. But yeah, I would say for the scrolls, you can probably pass on that if you're on a budget. The Dragon's Foot, yeah, you do definitely want to get that. And mine's about 1,000 points off. Mine was a level 214, so I'm losing about 1,000 damage. It's not too bad. You don't really use the Dragon's Foot for damage, you use it for its buff. So, I hope this helps answer the question of should I get the Dragon's Foot and should I get the scroll set. Again, to sum it up, the Dragon's Foot, yes. Plink down your hard-earned gold for that, and for the scroll set, I would say no. Unless, of course, you're Mr. Money Pants and can afford it. Hope this helps. Take care, everybody.